So recently there's been theories claiming that celebrities are secretly being cloned and replaced. And these theories have been around for a very long time, claiming multiple celebrities are secretly clones.
What if the person you've been watching isn't who they claim to be? In 2016, when Gucci Mane walked out of prison, something felt off. The internet went wild with theories, ex-girlfriends started talking, and even other rappers began making disturbing confessions. What really happened to the trap legend behind those prison walls? Because the more you look into this story, the stranger it gets. Back in September 2013, Gucci Mane had a complete meltdown that shook the entire hip-hop world. He went on an insane Twitter rampage, calling out practically everyone he'd ever worked with. Drake, Nicki Minaj, Waka Flocka, Rick Ross, nobody was safe from his wild accusations. He claimed he'd been intimate with industry women, exposed alleged industry secrets, and burned every bridge he'd built. The tweets were erratic, aggressive, and clearly coming from someone who wasn't in their right mind. What made it even more concerning was how personal and detailed some of these accusations were. He wasn't just vaguely calling people out, he was naming names, sharing private information, and making claims that could destroy relationships and careers. People could tell something was seriously wrong, but nobody knew just how bad things had gotten for Goopop. His management team tried to do damage control, but the tweets kept coming, each one more unhinged than the last. The chaos didn't stop at social media. Days after his Twitter explosion, Atlanta police responded to reports of Gucci acting dangerously in traffic. When officers arrived, he became increasingly hostile, threatening them and resisting arrest. The situation escalated fast. During the arrest, authorities discovered he was carrying a loaded firearm and illegal substances. This wasn't just another celebrity having a bad day, this was someone spiraling completely out of control. And here's the thing that made it worse. He'd already been arrested months earlier for a violent incident involving a champagne bottle at a club that left someone seriously injured. The pattern was clear. Gucci was caught in a destructive cycle that was only getting worse with each passing month. The industry knew Gucci needed serious intervention before it was too late. Some insiders were already whispering that if something didn't change soon, this story might not have a happy ending. The judge handed down a 3-year sentence, though he ended up serving close to that full time. But something unexpected happened while Gucci was locked up. From a hospital bed behind bars, he posted a series of tweets that shocked everyone who knew him. He admitted what many had suspected, but he'd always denied. He'd been struggling with serious substance issues for over 10 years. The confession was raw and honest. He apologized to his family, friends, the entire industry, and most importantly, his fans. He acknowledged he couldn't even remember half the things he'd said and done during his darkest period. The man who'd built a reputation on being tough and untouchable was finally showing vulnerability. Gucci admitted he needed professional help desperately, and thanked those who stood by him through everything. For the first time in his career, he was taking full accountability without making excuses. People were hopeful that prison would give him the chance to finally get clean and come back stronger. After all, plenty of artists had turned their lives around after hitting rock bottom. Everyone was rooting for Gucci to be one of those success stories. When Gucci Mane was released in May 2016, the world barely recognized him. The transformation was absolutely shocking. Gone was the rounded belly that came from years of substance issues. In its place were six-pack abs and a completely toned physique. His face looked different. His entire energy had changed, and he spoke with a polish that seemed almost unnatural compared to his old self. Even his mannerisms seemed calculated and controlled in a way the old Gucci never was. Photos started circulating online, comparing the before and after, and people couldn't believe their eyes. Some celebrated his glow-up, praising his dedication to fitness and sobriety. Fitness influencers were impressed by how much muscle he'd built. Fans were happy to see him healthy and thriving. But others weren't buying it. The change seemed too dramatic, too perfect, too artificial. How does someone transform that completely in less than 3 years? Rumors started swirling that this wasn't the same Gucci who went into prison. Social media exploded with side-by-side comparisons, people analyzing every feature, every mannerism, every subtle difference. The clone theory was born, and it spread like wildfire across every platform. Then things got even stranger. Rapper Hopsin posted a video that sent shockwaves through the internet.
I've been personally playing about 8 years now. It started around when around Illmind 5 When that came out, the song was so big, and they told me I had to like kind of sacrifice something. They said you're gonna have to pay it back because you just put this information out there, and this is gonna put people in the wrong mindset of what we're trying to do in society. So they told me that if I don't do these list of things, then they're going to hurt my family. Like, it was like an all-white room, and they opened one of the doors, and it had a Gucci suit, a Gucci bodysuit. And I said, oh no, please don't tell me that is what I think it is. They said, yeah.
In the clip, he claimed that secret agents had approached him with a disturbing proposal. According to Hopsin, they showed him what he described as a Gucci bodysuit, essentially claiming they wanted him to impersonate Gucci Mane. He said they threatened his family if he didn't cooperate, telling him he needed to pay back society for putting out music with the wrong message. Hopsin even described being taken to an all-white room where they revealed the suit to him. The story sounded absolutely insane, like something out of a science fiction movie or a Hollywood thriller. But Hopsin seemed dead serious in the video, his tone desperate and genuine. He wasn't laughing or smirking like someone telling a joke. People who'd been suspicious about Gucci's transformation suddenly felt validated. The internet went absolutely crazy, with conspiracy theorists pointing to this as proof that something sinister had happened to the real Gucci. Forums lit up with people dissecting every word Hopsin said, looking for clues and connections to other industry rumors. But Hopsin wasn't the only one speaking out. Mac Bre-Z, Gucci's ex-girlfriend who dated him for 6 years in the early 2000s and collaborated on multiple tracks including his breakthrough hits, came forward with her own disturbing claims. She stated publicly that when she saw Gucci after his prison release, he looked completely different from the man she'd known intimately for years. This wasn't just a casual observer, this was someone who'd spent 6 years with him, who knew every detail of his face, his voice, his personality. According to Mac, she tried confronting Keyshia Ka'oir about the drastic changes, but Gucci's wife dismissed her concerns and made her feel like she was imagining things or being jealous. Mac wasn't having it though. Fast forward to just weeks ago in November 2024, and Mac released a diss track specifically targeting Keyshia, accusing her of hiding the truth about what happened to the real Gucci. In the track and her social media posts, Mac alleged that Keyshia is acting as a handler, controlling this new version of Gucci and making sure he stays in line. She's been making serious allegations, demanding $20 million in compensation for unpaid work, and claiming she's tried taking her evidence to court, but keeps getting shut down. Mac insists the man parading around as Gucci today isn't the same person she spent years with. She claims she'd know him anywhere, and this isn't him. The drama exploded again just 3 weeks ago in October 2025, when things got even messier. Gucci and Keyshia appeared on The Breakfast Club to discuss his new memoir and openly address his mental health challenges, including his diagnoses of bipolar disorder and schizophrenia. It takes courage to speak about these conditions publicly, especially in hip-hop where mental health has traditionally been stigmatized. During the interview, Keyshia explained in detail how she supports Gucci during difficult episodes. She revealed that when he's going through challenging times, she takes steps to protect him, removing social media apps from his phone, adjusting passwords, and monitoring his online presence to prevent situations that could harm him or his reputation. She even mentioned that she catches the episodes before they fully develop now, stopping them before anyone notices. She stated that nobody's heard about any public incidents since September 2013, because she stays vigilant about his well-being and controls everything at home. The interview was intended to show a supportive partnership, a wife protecting her husband from his own struggles. But it rubbed Nicki Minaj the wrong way. Nicki went off on Twitter claiming Keyshia has been trying to copy her for years and is desperate for the spotlight. She suggested that Keyshia was using Gucci's platform and struggles to make herself famous, but the accusation that really caught attention was when Nicki stated flat out that Keyshia is there to keep Gucci sedated. She suggested Keyshia is working with industry higher-ups to control Gucci and keep him in line, preventing him from speaking his truth. Nicki even brought up Deborah Antony, Waka Flocka's mother and a legendary manager who worked with both Gucci and Nicki in the past, implying there are people who don't want certain connections around them anymore. The implications were clear. Nicki believed something much darker was happening behind the scenes. Gucci himself eventually addressed the clone allegations, though his response only fueled more speculation. He said he felt like he'd grown and morphed into a different person, shedding his old ways. He talked about losing weight, changing his thinking, and cutting off people who weren't benefiting him. He insisted the transformation was real personal growth that he could believe in, even if others couldn't. He framed it as a positive journey of self-improvement and redemption. On the surface, it sounds reasonable. Prison changes people, sobriety changes people, getting healthy changes people. Plenty of people have dramatic transformations when they commit to better living. But here's what keeps the conspiracy alive and thriving. Rumors claim his cellmates started the clone story with allegations about serious incidents that happened behind bars that Gucci allegedly didn't survive. These rumors suggest that what came out of prison wasn't the same person who went in. The clone doesn't spend time around Gucci's old friends or family members from before prison, people who would instantly know if something was off. He's essentially cut ties with everyone from his past, which his team explains as part of his fresh start, but skeptics see as avoiding people who could expose the truth. And during interviews, Keisha often tells him what to say, jumping in to answer for him or redirect conversations when things get too detailed. Watch any recent interview and you'll notice she's constantly managing the narrative. Believers point to all of this as evidence that powerful forces replaced him with someone more controllable, easier to manage, and less likely to expose industry secrets or cause problems. The theory suggests the government or entertainment industry elite created a clone to whitewash trap music and control the narrative. They point to his completely different facial structure and certain lighting and angles, the missing or altered tattoos depending on which photos you believe, and his suddenly articulate speech patterns that sound nothing like the old Gucci. Some even claim the real Gucci is still locked up somewhere or suffered a fate nobody wants to speak about. The conspiracy theorists have analyzed everything from his voice patterns to his mannerisms to the way he moves on stage. It sounds absolutely wild, and scientifically, human cloning to this degree isn't possible with current technology that we know about publicly. But in an industry known for control, manipulation, and silencing voices that get too loud, can you really blame people for questioning everything? We've seen how the industry operates, how careers get destroyed, how people disappear from relevance when they don't play along. Whether you believe Gucci simply got sober and transformed his life through dedication and hard work, or whether you think something far more sinister happened behind those prison walls, one thing's certain. The man who came out isn't the same one who went in, and the people closest to him, the ones who knew him best, keep dropping hints that maybe, just maybe, there's more to this story than we're being told. The question is, are you ready to accept the official story, or does something about all of this feel a little too convenient? Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to not miss any celebrity gossip. Thanks you watching.